right, good afternoon, everyone, on this Friday. 3-day weekend for us, but for most people, federal holiday coming on Memorial Day. And so my subject today is going to be about Memorial Day, because there seems to be a problem with people confusing Memorial Day with Veterans Day. I don't get it, but okay, there's a lot of people still do it. Veterans Day is for people who have served. Memorial Day is for people who have passed in combat. But I know that some people who are veterans who have died will celebrate them on Memorial Day. But Memorial Day as a federal holiday was meant to honor people who died in battle. Okay, died in combat. Okay, I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe the holiday was created after World War One. But I could be wrong. And if I am, I'll make sure I correct myself in the comments. But Memorial Day is to honor fallen veterans, fallen soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen. Veterans Day is for people who have served. Armed Forces Day is for people who are still serving. That's the difference, okay? You don't thank a veteran for her service on Memorial Day, even though we veterans appreciate that. Memorial Day is not for them. Memorial Day is for honoring the fallen who gave their life. So I bring that up because a podcaster I follow named Sean Ryan, who's the host of the Sean Ryan Show, posted something, I believe, on Instagram, if I remember correctly, about the confusion between the two holidays, and and the question he posed was, "Are you worth dying for?" And I'm paraphrasing. He posed that on Instagram, and again, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember it verbatim, but basically, the question was, "Are you worth dying for, or were you worth dying for?" And that's a great, actually, comment and question. I believe he put it in quotes. And I don't know his mind when he was posting that. I don't know exactly which way he was coming from, so we're going to try to cover all angles. So that could pose it comes a couple different ways. First and foremost, it may have been posted to individuals. Or you individually feel that you were worth somebody sacrificing their life for you. Okay, that's one. Two, with the way the world is these days, a lot of people not only hate the country, they hate this country they live in, they hate everything about it, the government, everything else. Are you worth the blood that's being spilt for your hate and dislike for this country and the freedoms that you enjoy because of the ones who died? And three, is the question relevant just for American citizens or for everybody? Those are kind of the three scenarios I'm going to go over, okay? So first and foremost, we already separated the two federal holidays in one observance, okay? Armed Forces Day is an observance. Veterans Day and Memorial Day are federal holidays. Veterans Day is for people who have served. Memorial Day are for the ones that gave their lives for this country in battle or combat, specifically. Okay? So, now that we got that out the way, so there's no confusion, because people always confuse, and I don't know why. And for a lot of people, it's irritating, because there's a difference. All right? Don't post on social media on Memorial Day, "Thank you for your service." No, that's not what this holiday is about. Some people might get very upset. The day is not about the veterans or active serving members. This is about people who have fallen. Okay, so now we got that out the way. Okay, now we got that out the way. Let's talk about what potentially he was getting at in his comment. I like the comment. Makes you think. Okay, basically, are you worth somebody dying for? Basically, okay, do you deserve it? Okay. First, as American citizens, if you are an American citizen viewing this, then one way of looking at it is, yes, you are worthy or deserving of somebody dying so that you can continue to live free. That's one way of looking at it. Regardless, doesn't matter. If you're an American citizen, then yes, you are deserving because they're fighting for you. If you are not an American citizen, then no, you are not deserving of them dying for you because they didn't die for you. They died for American citizens. This is not a human rights thing. This is an American thing. Memorial Day is an American holiday. I know other countries have similar holidays. I know the UK has a similar holiday. A lot of countries have similar holidays to honor their fallen. We're not talking about their holidays. We're talking about the American Memorial Day holiday. So if you are not an American citizen, meaning you're on a green card or you're illegal, no, you're not worthy of anybody in the military spilling their blood for you. It's not about you. Though I would include people who are actively trying to become American citizens, meaning that you're in the process. You are worthy and deserving of it because you're taking the time to become a citizen. So that means when somebody gives their life, they're giving their life for you as well. But if you're illegal, you're on a green card, whatever, no, you are not deserving or worthy of anyone in the military spilling their blood for you. That's how I feel. You may not agree, and that's okay. But that's, again, my podcast, my vlogs, my channel, my opinion. So that's one way of looking at it. If you're an American citizen, then yes, you are worthy or deserving, regardless of how you feel about this country. One view is that if you're an American citizen, then you're worthy and deserving. Okay, I'll go for that. Another view, if you're hateful and spiteful and don't like nothing about this country, but yet you're a citizen and or not a citizen, but mainly a citizen, you're hateful to you don't like the military, you don't like the government, you don't like all these things, you constantly complain about everything, but yet you enjoy the freedoms that have been given to you by the people that did give their lives, then no, you're not deserving or worthy, in my opinion. And again, I don't know what Mr. Ryan, what his thought process was when he posted it. And I don't expect him to leave a comment in the comment, but he might. Who knows? Maybe this will get to him. I don't know. He's a former Navy SEAL, CIA operative. I love his podcast. I am definitely a fan of his podcast. If he ever hears this, I am a fan of your podcast and I enjoy your content. And thank you for your service. So, that might be one way. That's another thought that he might have been thinking when he posted this. Okay. And then the third way is, as an individual, do you feel yourself worthy or deserving of somebody giving their life for the freedoms that you enjoy each and every day? To be able to say whatever you want to say, no matter how hateful it is. Hateful, wrong, stupid, whatever. Okay? It's an individual thought process. And maybe that's the way he was going. Now my take on that, and so now this is a fourth take. Those are the three main things that I think he might have been thinking when he posted it. But maybe this fourth one is one too. But this is just me I believe that nobody is worthy or deserving of any military person giving their life, because we're not worthy or deserving of it. Regardless if you're a citizen or not, or you like this country or not, or if you're an American citizen or not, who cares? It's my opinion that nobody is truly deserving or worthy of any military member giving their life for them. Because, and I look at it from a spiritual aspect, are we really worthy of God's love and God's salvation? No, we're really not. But because we are able to freely accept God's love and salvation, doesn't mean we're worthy or deserving of it. This is just the way I look at things. I don't believe I'm worthy of God's love and salvation, but I'm thankful for God's love and salvation, and I have accepted His love and salvation. Because I believe His Son died on the cross. That's the way. That's the way you become saved, is believing that He died on the cross for you as an individual, not just because you say you are. No. And of course, there's an action behind the acceptance, of course. So there are 4 ways of looking at that, and I've just spelled them out. I believe that the 4th one that I did, I don't believe any of us are worthy or deserving of anybody giving their life in combat or in battle. We're really not deserving of it. But as a military member, that's our job. And when we took the oath, that became our job. Regardless of what your MOS is, whatever your job title is, anybody can end up in combat at any time. It's just the way it is. If you're planning on joining the military and you don't think that the possibility of you going, if you think that you'll never end up in combat or in battle, you don't even need to join the military. Again, my opinion. That's foolish and ridiculous. Regardless of what your job is and what service you join, to include the Coast Guard, because in wartime, the Coast Guard falls under the Navy. In peacetime, it falls under Homeland Security. Heck, even the Merchant Marines fall under the Coast Guard in time of war. Because I believe, and I could be wrong if there are any Merchant Marines out there, I believe Merchant Marines, when they graduate the Merchant Marine Academy, are reservists for the Coast Guard. They hold actual rank. If I read correctly, we know Merchant Marines are, cruise ship captains, cargo ship captains, those type of things. But I believe, like in any academy, you are obligated for a certain amount of time in military service, and I believe that's in the Coast Guard, in the reserves, Coast Guard Reserve, which I think is awesome. That's cool. Because the Coast Guard was out there during Persian Gulf. They were out there patrolling the Gulf. So, in all honesty, none of us are deserving or worthy of somebody sacrificing their life. I believe that if we are to sacrifice our life, that we're sacrificing our lives for American citizens. Not for illegals, not people with green cards, but American citizens or ones who are in the process of becoming American citizens. That's who we're giving our lives for, not for anybody else. I don't don't believe illegals or people with green cards are deserving of anybody in the military service giving their life for them. Because we're not giving our lives for them. They belong to another country. They don't belong to America, quote unquote, for lack of a better word. They're not citizens. So American military members giving their lives are not giving their lives for people who are not American citizens. Period. Now, that's not to say that they're not putting their lives on the line for people overseas. That's not what I'm saying. We're talking about Americans. Okay? That was the comment. Okay? That was the statement that was put out. Focusing on Americans. We're not focusing on somebody giving their life for somebody in Afghanistan and Iraq or whatever. That's not what we're talking about. That's part of the job too. Okay? We're talking about, in America, do you feel yourself worthy or deserving of their sacrifice? Okay? That's what we're talking about. Again, I don't think anybody's worthy or deserving of anybody giving their lives for them. We're not worthy and we're not deserving, but we're thankful. Or at least we should be. People who are not thankful, who are not citizens, who all they do is complain about the country they live in and don't appreciate the freedoms that they have, even though they exercise them every day, in my opinion, aren't deserving. But the other thought is that every American citizen, regardless of what you think about them, is deserving of sacrifice. So there are four ways of thinking this. And again, I don't know Mr. Ryan's thought process when he posted it, but it could have been one of those four. Because veterans have and active service members and veterans have a different way of looking at things. Most of them have a different way of looking on how, we look at things. Okay, how we look at the world. Okay. And so those are the four things. And again, I don't know what Mr. Ryan was thinking when he posted it, nor am I in his head to even know what he was thinking. But that's just my take on it. And actually, I thought it was a great post. I thought it was a thought-provoking comment. It was definitely an introspective comment as well. But it also had overall kind of meaning to it, from the way I looked at it, from the way I read it. And so I think that we should be mindful of, one, the difference between the two federal holidays, and two, we should be more mindful about what we say, what we're talking about, and how we conduct ourselves as people, specifically American citizens, because there are people out there dying so that you can do whatever you want to do. And most people are going to be barbecuing, grilling, whatever you're going to be doing on Monday, instead of going visit your local, visiting a veteran at your local cemetery. And some people can't do that, and that's okay. You don't necessarily have to go to a cemetery, but take a minute and think about the people that have sacrificed so that you can do whatever you want. Nobody's saying you have to go to your local cemetery. Most cemeteries some cemeteries have a veteran section or a dedicated veteran cemetery, which we have here in Birmingham. We have a dedicated cemetery for veterans run by the VA. But then the large cemeteries, some of them have veteran sections. You don't necessarily have to do that. But if you have a family member, which I have many, because most male members of my family have served in the military, but I'm nowhere near any of them, of my my main Martin line that I belong to, they're all buried, on the East Coast or somewhere else, California, wherever. I don't have access to their graveside. So I will take time out, if I can't make it to my local VA cemetery, to think about the sacrifice that they made, the ones who did die in combat, and there are a few. There are actually many. To take time out. Okay? And then think about, were you deserving of their sacrifice? Are you deserving of their sacrifice? Are you conducting yourself in such a way that you're deserving of the sacrifice they made? If you're thinking in that train of thought. Or are you of the vein that, hey, I'm an American citizen, I'm deserving or worthy of it? Which, okay, I can see that. But even still, if you think individually and introspectively, are you conducting yourself in such a way that you feel yourself deserving or worthy of somebody sacrificing their life for you? And if people are honest with themselves, some of them are not. If they're honest with themselves, but most people aren't honest anymore. So they're just going to automatically say, oh yeah, I'm deserving. I live here in America. Yeah, I'm deserving. And you look on their social media feeds and they're ranting and raving about how bad this country is, about this, that, the other, and they don't believe in our form of government. They don't believe in our system of economics. They want a total upheaval and all this other stuff, but yet they benefit from every freedom that has been given to them because of the sacrifice of our military members. They're not worthy, in my opinion. And if they were honest with themselves, they would say they're not worthy. But people like that use the military to their advantage. And I'm not saying you need to be super patriotic and all that other stuff. That's not what I'm saying either. Just on a baseline level, okay? Just on a baseline level. So anyways, just a thought. And if you have any comments or whatnot about Memorial Day or what I talked about, leave them down below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Love to hear from you. I appreciate everyone that stopped by. Go visit my son's website. It's in the description below. philmartin.org. That's P-H-I-L-L. Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N.org. Go visit his website. He's got some great stuff on there. I think you'll enjoy it. And so, hopefully everybody will enjoy their 3-day weekend. Enjoy the Memorial Day holiday. Think about your family members that gave their life for this country. And honor them. And when doing that, do some introspection. And look within yourself and see if you are worthy of their sacrifice. I challenge you to do that. So until maybe Monday, but more than likely Tuesday, I will see you then. Everybody have a wonderful weekend if you have a full 3-day weekend. And I will see you all again on Tuesday. All right. God bless you.